This is, of course, the continuation of the story about the bird of the century competition. And I want to play this bit because this is actually really cool. This is really cool because all the people, we talked about this, who made big fusses about this, who didn't, who were, well, there was a few who weren't that stoked about it. And we said here, this will do really well for Forest and Bird financially. Let's just have a look. I'm not playing much of it. I'm just going to play you a little bit from last week tonight. I watched this before I came on tonight. And what's happened for Forest and Bird, New Zealand's Forest and Bird, obviously, because of John Oliver getting involved.
Now, this contest is overseen by the conservation organisation Forest and Bird to raise awareness of New Zealand's magnificent wildlife and raise money to protect it. And I'm happy to say they got hundreds of thousands of dollars in donations this year. Now, if you want to keep supporting them, you can give to them directly, or there's actually another option because...
Just think what you'd pay for this, as an advert.
Priceless.
And let me say,
absolutely priceless.
Let me say this to foreigners who are watching us, who want us to do our accent. It's real simple. Australians elongate their verbs. Kiwis swallow them. So Australians go, mate. They elongate the verbs. Kiwis go, mate. We swallow our verbs. So there you go. Work on that next time, Mr. Oliver. Here we go.
They've been partnering with a company to produce metal sculptures of the...
This is brilliant. Chewy. This is utterly brilliant. You wait for it.
I've seen it.
Oh, you've seen it. Okay. And just think, people who haven't seen this, what's happening behind the scenes between HBO and Forest and Bird. So this would have been talked about weeks ago. Obviously, they knew what bird was going to win.
Winning bird, with a portion of the proceeds going to their conservation efforts. Here is last year's sculpture of the triumphant rock wren.
And these things are fantastic. I bought several of these. And so what you do is you bang them into the side of a tree, and then they give the silhouette at nighttime of the birds, and they're fantastic. Everyone should definitely go and check them out.
Would you like to see the sculpture they've made for this year's winner? Because here it is, a magnificent Puteki Teki win. As you can see, me riding on its back like one of its babies. And as the website points out, with a helpful animation, the John Oliver part can be removed if you so choose, which is magnificent. Would that we all had that option. If you want one, with or without me on it, you can order a sculpture.
So it's fantastic. It's utterly fantastic. What great advertising. It is real. It's absolutely real, because we're about to now go from John Oliver last week tonight, where we are using footage from his show, thanks to fair use laws, to News Hub, to have a look at what's happening with the actual prize. Let's check this out.
Forest and Bird are hoping the boost doesn't end there. They've partnered with Metal Bird, a Kiwi sculpture company that's been celebrating the competition's winner for years.
30% of the sale of that bird directly to Forest and Bird to help with their activities.
But this year's design has a special twist.
There you go.
Me riding on its back like one of its babies.
And that's seen sales go through the roof.
And we're sitting there with our fingers crossed, hoping the whole site's gonna stay together.
Walters says it's a huge boost for conservation efforts.
It's almost a bottomless pit, how much help birds need. But
did you get that, Americans? Pit. A bottomless pit. So he swallowed his eye. Pit. But he swallowed it.
Locally and globally.
John Oliver leading by example.
We actually have one for every member of our studio audience tonight. That is right.
So as the spotlight turns away from our birds, and Forest and Bird enjoy a well-deserved rest.
I think my team could do with a cup of tea and a lie down.
Toki and the team are crossing their fingers. Our native birds aren't forgotten.
Look, what a brilliant story. What a brilliant story. And for any people, and I'm sure there's not many, but they always find the odd whinger or two, any people out there who are kind of a bit pissy that, this American comedian made a joke out of the whole thing. Hundreds of thousands of dollars raised already for Forest and Bird. They wouldn't have been there, and more to come through the sale of these silhouettes. Just fantastic.
I think it was all part of the plan, and everybody played their part to perfection.
Yeah.
I mean, I think John mentioned the total number of votes in last year's one was something like 56,000.
Total,
and total votes in the Bird of the Year competition, and then this time round, it's something like 4 times that. that amount. There's like 350,000 votes.
Yeah, well,
and the donations that went with it.
Yeah.
That's the main thing.
His bird, the Puteki Teki, got 290,000 votes. The second place vote getter was the little spotted kiwi, I think. That was about 15,000. I think what he said is if you added up all 10 of the first top 10, so the second through 10, they were still about 4 times ahead if you added them all together to do it. So no, I think it's great. And it's a way that they can show that the power of media, how it can actually help. And he does it a lot. And it's just, obviously, it's great for Forest and Bird.